And how's Toronto going?
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like smashing goals quarter by quarter, even in like this slow market, just because we're aggressive and like we're still such a small pond in a small fish in a big pond.
Yeah.
So like the market volatility and like what's happening, like I can understand like the bigger conglomerate companies and brokerages and banks, how they're fighting for like 5-10% more of the market share. But like, again, we're just a speck of sand on the beach. So it's like you're going aggressive, like we don't see any, that we're not being affected by it. Right.
I think every single business, especially same with real estate, like a lot of people are taking a stand back and saying, oh, the market is shifting. But people aren't doubling down on their activity. They aren't like, okay, I need to shift my mindset.
Yeah.
Who do I need to reach out to? People still need to make a move. Like, is it the people that are going to buy and flip tomorrow? Probably not. Should I really be reaching out to them every single day? No. But who is moving? Who is upsizing? Who can find opportunity in this market? And those people are doing well. Whereas everyone else is like, oh, blah, market is crashing. Like, I'm just going to fuck off for the next year until it picks back up. And those are the people like, okay, see ya. Hopefully we see the numbers of real estate agents go down too. I think this is really
100%
seeking out who's actually in the business with knowledge, because it was so easy to put a house on the market, post an iPhone photo of it, and have 50 people down the street. A monkey could have done that.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. So like you hit the nail on the head with everything for sure.
Yeah.
And that, like looking at it from like the glass half full kind of vibe, it's like you want to shake out all these people that are coming in just to grab a piece of the action when it's easy.
Yeah.
So have this be a real tough time. You know what I mean? And then shake them all out so that when it does start to move in the upwards, direction, there's more inventory. Everyone's like really confident again, in what's going to happen. We know we are the industry, but the buyers out there and the investors.
Yeah.
It'd be something that like there's more market share for the people who stuck it out, right? So,
and I think people are going to be more skilled after it as well, because people kind of have to get back to the basics. Okay, what actually moves my business forward? Yeah. Whereas so many people were occupied with transaction after transaction where they completely forgot to actually run a business. Yeah. That's what I'm finding. Like, what are your systems in place?
No doubt.
Right? Like, how are you getting leads? How are you getting business? What's actually working? What is your conversion, like calls to conversion? Like, what are your numbers? And people don't know that.
Yeah.
People don't know that at all after the last 2 years.
Welcome to What Would It Cost? I am fired up today to be hosting Sophie Bokelman, and we're popping her podcast cherry today.
Yes, first one.
So this is special, and we're just like really excited to hear from her and how she broke into the Toronto market, as she's originally from Ottawa and Montreal, and how she hit the ground running, and she did over 100 transactions in less than 2 years, over 150 GCI in her first year. And just like what it took to do that, and not only the mindset, right, but like we were talking about, prior to the cameras coming on, the systems, the processes, and procedures to be able to get there. So I'll let her take it from here. But welcome.
I'm super excited to be here and pop my podcast cherry with you. But super excited. Thank you for having me. So a little bit about what you were saying. I'm originally actually from Europe, Germany, grew up there 14 years, moved to Newfoundland, lived in Newfoundland, Montreal, Ottawa, kind of traveled the world. I spent the age of 18 to, I think, 22, kind of figuring out, like a lot of people, figuring out what I wanted to do. Have a background in digital marketing, worked in that industry for 4 years, went to school and studied communication. And COVID was kind of the start of my real estate career. I was unsatisfied working a 9 to 5. I love digital marketing, and I still do. And I think I implement a lot of skills that I learned in that field now where I am in real estate, and it's such a great outlet for leads and whatnot. But I wasn't happy where I saw my life going, and I loved real estate in general. I love design. I love architecture. I love the idea of like having such an impact on someone's life, being able to help them create wealth long-term. Like, I'm super passionate about that. And someone I knew was a real estate agent back in Ottawa, and he took me on showings with him once. And I was just like, I want to do this. I loved everything about it. I loved the entrepreneurship, the financial side of things, the personal side of things, the business, the marketing, everything. And I kind of put in my head, I want to get my real estate license. But at that point, I was still finishing up university. I was just like confused about a lot of things. And then COVID hit. And I was like, this is literally like the universe telling me it's my time to do this. So I got my license, finished it in 6 months. I did the Humber, learned how not to get sued pretty much. That's what it taught me. I was living in Montreal at that point, and then I was thinking about, okay, where do I see myself actually working? I hadn't thought about that because I lived in Ottawa. I went to school in Ottawa. I had connections in Ottawa.
Yeah.
I couldn't work in Montreal because I lived there forever. I don't speak a goddamn word of French. I never learned it. I'm like, je veux le pasta, s'il vous plaît. Like I can say that. I can't do anything else.
Yeah.
So Montreal was out. Anywho,
Yeah.
I got my Ontario license, and then I was considering Ottawa, and I was like, I can't see myself living there long term. It's a great city, but I didn't see the same perspective of growth that I saw going to Toronto.
Right.
And then, Toronto it was. I moved to Toronto mid-pandemic. This was, I think, the second or third wave, the one where no one was leaving the home. Like, I moved to Toronto May 1st, 2021. Started in real estate that exact day. And when I moved there, I remember going outside and there was no one on the streets. It was a rainy day and I started crying. I was like, what did I do? I remember calling mom.
There's tumbleweeds coming down the road.
I had no money in my bank account. I was like, I don't even know how to get business because you don't learn that in school. Again, how not to get sued, nothing else. I got COVID like 3 days in being in Toronto. So I was in my apartment doing like Zoom calls with my team, trying to figure out how to navigate the Toronto real estate markets, learning street names, learning neighborhoods. And here we are 2 years later.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Good on you for making such a leap. And what an interesting story. Very interesting. So how you liking it? How's it going?
I love it. Yeah. I never got into real estate thinking I will have a lot of time or time freedom. If I had that expectation, I think I'd be really upset. But I absolutely love it. I love the entrepreneur side of it. And it's every single day is different. And every single day I go to bed knowing, okay, I either learned something, I grew, I learned something about the business. I learned something about myself. And that's what I love about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We were talking a little bit about, before the cameras came on, personal development.
Yeah.
I love that. Talk to me about it. Talk to me not only about the journey that you're on in that space, but how that's helped you elevate as an entrepreneur in the real estate space and what that looks like on an overall.
So like I said, I was very confused for a long time there, and I never really put an emphasis on mindset for a certain amount of time. When I was 18, though, I actually went to Bali, Indonesia, and got my yoga teaching license. Nice. And that was my passion. Like, it helped me out of a really dark time. And that's when I knew I was like, okay, like being with yourself, mindset, like positive thinking, being within your body, like that really changes your life. Then I started partying and went to university, and that just all fell out of the window. And then it came back to me during COVID, when you didn't have anything else, right? You didn't have all the people. You didn't have the like exterior things influencing you. It's like, okay, I really need to be with myself. Like, I need to make myself happy. You can't leave your house. You don't know when this is going to end. You need to find something that's going to keep the light alive. And mindset was huge. I'm huge into journaling. I'm huge into manifestation.
So the 5-minute journal and the number one book, The Secret.
Yes. Okay. I love The Secret. Yeah. I love Think and Grow Rich. Okay. Good one. Yeah. But yeah, every single morning I like manifest who I want to be down the line. Nice. And then I think internally you visualize it and you start acting like that person you want to be. You start showing up as that person, and then you start becoming that person.
100%.
And
100%.
I think it's huge and super underrated. A lot of people don't realize the power of the subconscious mind. So huge on that.
100%. Check this out. I have this on repeat in my books.
I love
I
it.
listen to it every day.
It's your Bible.
4 hours, 4.5 hours. Just repeat.
It's your Bible.
To go to your point
Yeah.
and strengthen that manifestation, seeing yourself in the future, and really having the universe work for you and put you in that direction. And it's powerful. It's so powerful. So sorry.
No. You're gonna. I was like, what are you doing?
I'm on it. Yeah, that's cool. And that's awesome that you built that into your routine on a daily basis to make that
I think
a reality, right?
I think a lot of people don't understand journaling and manifestation because they're like, why would I write something down if I don't believe it yet? And I was like, that's the whole point. Like, you need to convince yourself that you're worthy of a certain amount you want to, let's say income, that you're deserving of making like $500,000 a year. Because if not, you're not going to attract that. You're just going to cap out wherever your belief system is.
Yes.
Like my goal when I moved here was I want to become a kick-ass agent in my first year and make 6 figures. I did that.
Nice.
And now I'm like, okay, that wasn't high enough. Like that wasn't high enough for me. What else can I do if I strongly believe in it?
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Very cool. For anyone that's looking to make that leap and to make that jump from a market that they want to get into, right? We were talking a little earlier about how we made that leap into Florida, right?
Yeah.
And now how a lot of, our network here is really helping us, whether they want to buy down there, they have a network down there, and how it's not as hard as one may think. But I want to hear from you what your advice would be to someone who wants to enter a different marketplace. They got to make that leap. They have all these strings that's attached to them, that comfort level, that, what if kind of, what's the one thing that you would say would I mean, I'm sure there's a bunch or, a few that you can name off the top of your head, but that one thing where you're like, give them some strength, give them some courage. It's goal time.
I think if you're thinking from a business perspective and your barriers, I don't know enough people. I don't know if I can have business there because I don't have the network, blah, blah, blah. Like those are excuses because in the end, people wherever it is who know people who know people. Referral is the strongest thing you can ever have. When I moved to Toronto, I didn't know a lot of people. My entire business pretty much in my first year came from people who were moving here or referrals from Newfoundland, Montreal, and Ottawa and social media. Like there's so much strength to kind of branch out outside of, oh, this is not the first person in my favorites. Who cares if they're further away? Odds are they know someone in Toronto.
Yep.
Odds are they can refer you out. Odds are they know someone in New York or Florida or this or that. And if not, like go to a social event, start volunteering, get a dog. My God, my dog gets me.
That's a good advice.
That's the only reason I got her. No, I'm kidding. But if you open yourself... I have a whole zoo just
There's
so I can...
There's a heavy ROI on that dog. He's the best $1,000 I ever spent in my life.
Watch me walk around in my heels with my business cards in the dog park, just walking her. And I was like, by the way, I'm in real estate right now. I mean, but you have those conversations, right? Yeah. Especially real estate. It's such an easy topic to talk about. Even I've booked consultations with my Uber drivers because you talk to someone and the easiest thing to ask someone is, what do you do for a living? Mm-hmm. And if they're not complete a-holes, they're going to ask you what you do for a living. And you say real estate and they're like, oh, how's the market doing?
Yeah. It's such a hot topic.
It's such a hot, everyone loves to talk about real estate. So if you know, and you should know what you're talking about and what you're doing and you know your value, you can get that over within 2 minutes.
Yeah, totally agree.
Add them on social media and there you go. Build your network no matter where you are.
Yeah, good on you. Good. And so you came down here by yourself?
With my partner, I made him move.
Okay, made him. Right
Yeah,
on.
I
And
made him
how's
move.
he liking it?
He's in finance.
Okay.
So
nice. Yeah.
it made sense for him and was kind of me kicking him out of his comfort zone. I'm like, you've been here your whole entire life. Like, you need change. So yeah, I brought him here with me and he loves it.
Very cool.
Best
Very
decision of
cool.
his life.
And he found the job here. Or is he able to work mobilely based on his arrangement, or?
He was working mobile and hoping to transfer to the Toronto office, which didn't happen. And then he started looking for other opportunities, found a better opportunity, and now he goes to the office. So we don't want to kill each other because we work in the same office at home. So he's going back to the office.
That's awesome. That's so cool. What a cool story, right? And that's so exciting for the relationship as well, right? To make such a bold move and then have to figure it out together. Like, what better challenge would you want put in front of you as a couple, right?
Yeah.
And try to have to navigate that and how that looks like, getting a new job, building a new community and network, understanding, the lay of the land and the ecosystem that you're plugging into there. Like, talk about, building again, deeper connection with one another, right?
You're building something together, right?
Yeah.
We bought a pre-construction condo last year, and I want to buy another investment property this year and next year. And it's kind of just building and building. I think it's the healthiest thing you can possibly do in a relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Very cool. So Othership, because you're downtown, you do Othership?
Love Othership.
Big shout out to Othership. Yeah.
Yeah. Big shout out to Othership. Yeah. Absolutely adore Othership. If I could go every single day, I would, especially in the mornings, like waking up, rolling into Othership and hopping in that cold bath, like 100%. Yeah. It's my favorite place to go because you actually put your phone away.
Yeah.
You can't take your phone in there. And sometimes, especially in real estate, where you're I sometimes have a deeper relationship to my phone than I have to my partner.
100%.
So putting it away every now and then and kind of getting back to yourself, I think, is so important. Also, big fan of Go Place in Markham.
Okay. Nice.
Love that place.
So we got to go to Elemental then.
Elemental?
Elemental. So it's the magic place in Vaughan. They got cold tubs, saunas, infrared saunas. They got breathwork classes, sound bowls, meditation. Yeah.
Okay.
You'll love it. Yeah. Okay, got to bring you there.
Next time on the podcast, we'll bring the whole setup.
Yeah. And you know what? Even something in regards to the personal development space that I wanted to ask you about that I found in my experience is that at all these places, like, everyone's got, a different, journey that they're on and a different ecosystem set up. So it's like, hey, like, try this, or like, give that guy a call, or like, this guy does these sessions. It's like, check out this place. It's just opening up. So I always love to, like, build people into my journey and have them build me into theirs, because it's like, there's always a bone that someone can throw you. So like, what have you found that plugging into the conscious community or that development space here has really helped you, like, rub shoulders with good people and stay part of, like, an awesome network? Like, how does that work for you?
Well, I find, like, if anyone ever has been to Othership, I think it's such an environment where everyone just lets their guard down, which you don't find other places. And especially if you're networking and getting to know people, especially in Toronto, it's such a money-driven environment. If you meet someone at their club, there's always going to be that mask on, right? Yeah. How they want the world to perceive them, versus when you see someone, like, detached from their phone, detached from the outside world, trying to get back to themselves, working on their health, working on their mindset. Like, those are the people you're going to have automatically the deepest and most authentic connection with, versus anywhere else on King Street West, which I don't really go out anymore, but that's just the reason why, because I'd rather just have these. You talk about deep shit, like in the sauna, you're both half naked, you're sweaty, you're gross, makeup's running everywhere, like my eyes are black, I look like I just got punched in the face, but no one cares. Like, literally no one cares, because that's just the way you are, right?
100%. And our most recent BDM that just joined the team, number 17, Jessica, big shout out to Jess. I was meditating on the top row of the other ships on fucking in the zone. And she came in and she sat down close to me. So when I was done, we just started chopping it up, right?
Yeah.
And it was an awesome convo. One thing led to another. A year later, she had joined because she had seen some of the podcasts. She's like, oh, wait, that was that guy.
In the sauna.
Meditating in the sauna. So it was like one thing led to another. And it was like, it happened so organically. And like when she was when she was in to like talk about, you know, the job, it was a no-brainer because she knows that like anyone in those spaces or in those areas, like no matter what stage you're at, your intentions are solid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're trying to grow, you're trying to be better, right? And like you're just, again, you're opening up, you're getting vulnerable, you're having those in-depth conversations. Like, dude, we just met. You know what I mean? And like, I've known people for years and I haven't went that deep with them like in 10 minutes that I've gone with you because of that vulnerability and it's like guard down kind of vibe, right? So the coolest thing, you know?
I think alcohol is also a huge factor, right? Like people kind of use alcohol as an outlet. Oh, I'm going to be more communicative and more open, which is usually not the case because the conversations are very like superficial. Whereas if you take that away from the scenario, people would think, oh no, you're so shy, you're not confident. It's like, I think the opposite. I feel more myself. I feel more confident. I feel more vulnerable. I feel more like showing up as the person I actually am.
Right.
So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. I seen a big difference when I cut it out. It's been a couple years I haven't had a drink, but just like showing up in rooms and knowing that I'm not reliant or dependent on that to have it be that I got to open up and have a convo. And that, you know, I blame it in a big way on the personal development journey and how it just helps beat the ego down.
Yeah.
And just like, hey, let's just do this. And some people, I remember, you know, shout out Kate Broderick too. Like she said something that really stuck with me. She's like, you know, some people are going to love you and some people aren't.
Yeah.
And it was so pleasant the way that she said it, right?
Yeah.
But it's so true. It's just like, you're never going to have everyone love you. So just rock, I'll be you. And whoever loves you, then just embrace those relationships and rock with them, right? So
I think especially as a woman in this day and age, like social media can be two types, right? Very toxic, really daunting, like hard on your self-image. Or you can kind of tap into this other perspective of social media and become like that authentic version of yourself. Start following people that inspire you, following people that motivate you and that pretty much just allow you to tap into your mindset versus like doubting your self-worth. I think those are the two things social media does. And for me personally, like before I got into real estate, like I was very like editing my photos, like trying to be someone I really wasn't. And the second I started being authentic on social in a business aspect and a personal aspect, kind of opening up to my following, business just came. And people just came and reached out and it started building this like authentic community. And I think that's so powerful. And that's the biggest compliment you can ever get, right? And I think a lot of people forget, don't think about that because there's this whole other era where as a woman, you need to be a certain type.
So yeah, we had an awesome time hosting you today, Sophie. Thank you very much for your time. We know you're busy because you got a lot going on because you kick ass in the entrepreneurial space.
Thank you.
More so specific real estate, obviously. So for all the first-time home buyers, investors, people in the market that need a solid realtor, tell them where they could find you.
Follow me on Instagram. My handle is Sophie Bokelman, just my name. Same on Facebook. I think same on TikTok, but don't follow me on TikTok. I don't use it. And yeah, DM me if you have any questions. If you are an investor, if you're a first-time home buyer, a seller, or if you're another real estate agent or someone in the health space, let's chat.
Yeah. And if you're interested on joining us on the Elemental session, we're open and hit us up. We'll plug you in.
It's happening.
Yes. Thank you for watching in today. Really appreciate you guys.
Thank you.